We are back for the final set of English instructional videos. Again, watch and learn from our Tele-Turuan.
Good day! I am Jan Erica P. Salas from Marciano del Rosario Memorial National High School, your teacher presenter for Tele-Turuan. Previously, the topic discussed was about comparing and contrasting the presentation of topics in different multimodal texts. But today, we focus on comparison and contrast own opinions with those presented in text. It is inherent to humans to compare, contrast, and express our opinions. But first, let us define the differences and meanings of opinion, comparing, and contrasting. When we talk about opinions, it is a view or judgment formed about something, not necessarily based on facts or knowledge. We, as individuals, have innate different characteristics which are unique from the others. Through this uniqueness exists, there are several instances that those traits are also common to others. Again, when you talk about opinion, opinions are not considered as absolute or truth or fact. When you talk about comparison, it is a consideration or estimate of the similarities between two things or people. To compare means to identify the similarities between two or more things, person, and ideas. When we contrast, we highlight the differences, the state of being strikingly different from something else. And then again, the contrast means to identify the differences. Now that we are done with defining the important terms for this lesson, I hope that you can retain these ideas and it will be important for the entirety of this lesson. This item that I will be showing you has been shown during the multimodal presentation, and it is a Venn diagram. A Venn diagram is a graphic organizer that is commonly used to present comparison and contrast ideas. Its distinctive identification is its overlapping shape. Usually it's in circles. Both sides you fill up with the differences. The space in between, which the shapes overlaps, the similarities are written. Let us say you read an article or text about basketball and soccer. So here's an example on how you can present your ideas using the Venn diagram. As you can see, on each circle, the differences of each sport from one another are listed, whereas in the middle are what they are similar with. Now, it is not all the time that you can present comparison and contrast ideas using Venn diagram. Sometimes you are also going to encounter instances wherein you need to present your data using proper sentences. This also introduces the idea that both comparing and contrasting signal words would be really helpful. Signal words for comparison is listed as also, as well as, both, comparatively, in the same way, in addition, just as, alike, most important, similarly, the same as, and to. For example, basketball and soccer are alike in that they are both ball games. Signal words for contrast is listed as although, besides, but, compared with, conversely, differ, even though, furthermore, however, in contrast to, instead, less than, more than, and whereas. Example sentence is basketball is played in wooden floor, whereas soccer is played in artificial or natural grass surface. To sum it up, I projected 10 statements about comparison, contrast, and opinion. So let's start with number 1. If you agree with certain statements, you virtually raise both your thumbs up. But if you disagree, you put your thumbs down. Okay? So for number 1, Comparison and contrast can be used interchangeably. Is it thumbs down or thumbs up? Very good. It is thumbs down because you can't exchange the use of comparison and contrast because they are different from each other. Number 2, Venn diagram is one of the most useful tools in making comparison and contrast. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up. As I've said, this is a fact because it was usually most of the time used by educators or any kind of people to present comparison and contrasting ideas. Number 3, comparing and contrasting make us understand ideas and events better. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up. Number 4, to show comparison, use the signal words although, whereas, while. Thumbs up or thumbs down? It is thumbs down because the said keywords are used for contrasting, not comparison. Okay? Number 5, comparing and contrasting are evaluative tools. Thumbs up or thumbs down? This one is a thumbs up. As I've said, the meaning of comparing and contrasting are usually to show differences and similarities. Okay? So number 6, contrast points out similarities of 2 or more subjects or ideas. Thumbs up or thumbs down? It is thumbs down because contrast shows differences. Number 7, comparison points out differences of 2 or more subjects or ideas. Thumbs up or thumbs down? This one is thumbs down because comparison shows similarities. Number 8, comparison and contrast means examining the qualities with a view to discover resemblance or differences. Thumbs up or thumbs down? It is thumbs up. We can refer to the definition I have provided in the first place. Okay? So number 9, use the keywords also, the same as, just as, and etc. to show contrast. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay, these keywords shows comparison. So therefore, your answer should be thumbs down. Okay? So number 10, the sentence, I like tea but I don't like coffee. It expresses similarity. Thumbs up or thumbs down? This one is thumbs down because it expresses differences since the word but is used. Okay, as your practice activity at home, I want you to do a little research about bamboo and mango tree. Use Venn diagram to project the comparison and contrast of the two. There you have it. Thank you for your active participation. I hope you learned a lot. This has been Jan Erica P. Sales of Marciano del Rosario Memorial National High School. See you again and have a good day.
Good day, dear viewers. Welcome to another episode of DepEd Hour Tele-Turuan. This is Lilibet PDS from Martini National High School, your teacher presenter. Your lesson objectives for today are: first, differentiate between claims of fact, policy, and value. And second, formulate claims of fact, policy, and value. You have already learned from the previous lessons that the main purpose of argumentative essays is to persuade the reader, and in order for the writer to make this happen, he or she has to present claims that will be useful in an argument. Let's recall what a claim is and how it is defined. For a writer, the claim is the main topic of an argument where the writer tries to assert on his or her beliefs, ideas, or actions. It is the central statement of a text where the writer tries to prove his or her point by providing details, explanations, and other types of evidence. A claim persuades, argues, convinces, proves, or provocatively suggests something to a reader who may or may not initially agree with you. It is up to the writer to effectively support those claims with evidences. Let us now talk about the characteristics that make a good and effective claim. First, a good claim is argumentative and debatable. The claim should attempt to convince readers, change their minds, or urge them to think in new ways. Such claims address a problem for which a single, simple answer does not exist. Second, a good claim is specific and focused. Broad claims are more difficult to support effectively than focused claims. Specific claims also tend to provide readers with more useful information than broad claims. Third, it should be interesting and engaging. A good claim requires a lot of evidence and a level of thinking that extends beyond opinion and beyond the obvious. If all reasoning is too predictable, it might become boring. And finally, a good claim is logical and reasonable. There are three types of claims commonly used in argumentation: claim of fact, claim of value, and claim of policy. Let's discuss them one by one. A claim of fact is a statement asserting that a condition has existed or exists, which is supported by factual information. The question often asked is it true or false? It is a statement about how things were in the past, how they are in the present, or how they will be in the future. It is an argumentative thesis which makes a quantifiable assertion. In other words, it is an argument or claim about a measurable topic or fact. Here is an example of a claim of fact. As you can observe, this is a claim that is debatable using factual evidence. Now we move on to the claim of value. This is an arguable statement concerning the relative merits of something which is measured subjectively with respect to several factors such as moral, aesthetic, or philosophical. Let us look at an example. Here, the writer makes the claim to express approval on teaching nutrition at home. And lastly, a claim of policy makes an assertion about a course of action the reader should take. In other words, it is an argument or claim about an actionable topic or policy. Claims of policy strongly suggest what should be done, hence the use of other models like must and ought to. What makes a claim of policy arguable is that even though people may not be totally certain about the proper course of action to take, they still must act. To argue in defense of a policy claim is to state that, given what we know now, it's best to act in the manner proposed. Here's our example. Observe how a course of action is suggested to the reader through the use of the model should. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after a few reminders from the studio. We're back. Before we proceed, let's have a short recap of what we have just studied. We have already figured out the characteristics that make a good claim. We have also identified the different kinds of claims commonly used in argumentation, and we have mentioned some of their examples. Now let us look at more examples, this time having all claims focusing on a common topic. As you can see, capital punishment has been a perennial topic of debates, and to this day, it is still arguable in different ways. Look at how the claims are made. Now we have claims on the topic of misinformation. The claim of fact says, misinformation about COVID-19 presents a serious risk to public health and public action. Claim of value. Dependence on social media for information is a bad idea because it exposes the gullible audience to a lot of fake news. And the claim of policy, Tightened community standards should be imposed to counter potentially harmful content from the media. There you go. Now you already know the types of claims. The next step will be for you to support them with details. You may need to note that the rules of academic argument exclude the following as support. First, because it is my personal opinion. You need to support your opinion with facts as basis. Next, because my friends or relatives think so or most people think so. What led them to such thinking? Next, because it's always been, it's tradition. How did the tradition come about? And then, because it's obvious. If it's obvious, it's boring. And lastly, because it's morally right. Although morality is somehow subjective, it shouldn't be too dismissive. No matter the type of claim, you will usually combine many types of support for that claim in order to write a logical argument, including facts, case studies, reasons, personal interviews, and more as appropriate. There you have it. Now it's time for a quick exercise. Get your pen and a piece of paper and answer the following. Identify the type of claim expressed in each sentence. Let's check your answers. Number 1, it's a claim of fact. Number 2, claim of value. Number 3, it's another claim of fact. 4, claim of value. And the number 5 is claim of policy. Great job! I hope you were able to get all the correct answers. Thank you for your active participation. I hope that by this time you can be able to formulate your own claims of fact, value, and policy. This has been Lilibet PDS from Campiña National High School. See you again on our next episode of DepEd Hours Tele-Turuan. God bless everyone.
And these are the news and features for the 4th Wednesday of June. On behalf of the primary benefactor of the program, the Honorable City Mayor Micah Vergara, along with the SDO Cabanatuan City Superintendent Teresa Mababa, the Office of Media and Cab TV technical people, this has been your host, Cesare Espiritu, saying, never let your guards down. And to DepEd Hour co-anchor, Baby Jane Valderrama, you always have our prayers for your speedy recovery. Keep safe, everyone.